Being able to chat with Dylan Mara was crazy. He runs a Metaverse conference called Superverse, which I like very much, so I asked him about how to actually run events. I asked about all things NFTs and of course the Metaverse. And then he revealed that he actually worked with Hugh Hefner at the legendary Playboy mansion. And he invented and ran the Candyland parties. Damn, I wish I was there. Of course, I was very curious about what actually happened at those parties. I guess you want to know it too. Enjoy and remember to hit that notification bell, like and subscribe. See you inside. Today I'm here with Dylan Mara. Welcome, Dylan.
Hey, great to be here.
You're the CEO of Karma International and the executive producer at Cinematic. Not too long ago, just a few days ago, we had a great event here in Dubai, which was called Superverse. And I just learned that you're the producer of this event and you're an investor in this event. Please tell me a little bit more about it.
Well, yeah, Superverse is convergence of what's going on with tech, with the Metaverse, with NFTs, with DAOs, with cryptocurrency. It gives consumers the opportunity to come and learn about all this and meet with people that are the forefront and leaders within these different disciplines in the space. So we wanted to be something different. We wanted to create an event that was the Metaverse. Superverse is about, the different technologies. We, from every way you enter, from you enter the whole conference, we built a huge, huge entrance with tunnels, video tunnels that actually track your movement as you come in and create artwork on the walls that right next to you. We had an entrance avatar, so that you were greeted by an avatar that actually had two-way conversations, was interactive with you.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
I was wondering, was that an AI or was it a person? Or?
It was actual person. So we actually put a person in a body tracking suit. And she was the avatar. And so that was her persona. And she could hear you and see you and you could talk to her.
I did.
And it was we wanted you to feel very, very futuristic. And then as you come in, we had all kinds of different activations. We built everything from, hologram, activations to hexatunnel to laser show in a dome. We had, AR, VR, we just had all the different things for you to go in. We had a room done by Metaverse, one of our sponsors, that when you go inside of it, you're completely immersive in video on all 6 walls, just all around you, above you and below you. And you are inside the Metaverse. And it's pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely. So I was lucky enough to be one of the first guests there. It was a VIP guest. I had front row. It was an amazing show. I can tell you. I felt like in heaven. I enjoyed it so much. You had great speakers, people that on stage, people that really know their craft and that have been in crypto for like more than 10 years in some cases, which was very awesome. I also loved the combination of art and show and production together with actual knowledge, because I believe with Digistore24 coming from kind of like an e-learning background, because we're selling a lot of e-learning products through affiliate marketing and doing the payment processing, etc. I really believe in edutainment. So that a mixture of education and entertainment, I really saw that. You also had great artists and an amazing fashion show. So I was like, that was a lot of value for the money. It was amazing. I mean, I can recommend it to anyone. And I think still, even though some NFTs became very popular, especially Bored Apes, etc., like not a lot of people know about it, and I think more people should know, because I believe it's kind of a technical infrastructure that will be used a lot more in the future. I'm especially talking about the NFTs, cryptos, anyways, of course. And what was your vision with this event? It was the very first event.
It's the very first event. This was a showcase. This was an opportunity to bring in some, industry experts and bring some consumers and have them meet their users, have the industry, people who are into NFTs, people who are into, pay to earn gaming, cryptocurrency, to be able to talk about what they do and how they're going to enter into the metaverse into the future, and how they're going to make money and monetize their entrance into the universe, and how NFTs are not just, they're not just about art, they're about music, they're about functionality, they're about events. We can have NFT ticketing, we have NFT music releases, NFT art. There's so many different use cases for NFTs, and people just don't know that yet. So this show, the vision of this show is to go out on tour, and take it to the masses. And we're going to have them be able to interact and learn, in a very educational but entertainment type format. Yeah, we want to like bring in high tech and have these interactive activations. People learn more when they're touching and doing and experiencing. People don't just want to come to a conference and see a bunch of talking heads. They want to see the art. They want to see the entertainment. So we're bringing music artists, top level music artists in this world, are now crossing over into NFT and to cryptocurrency. Every major artist, it's the top of their mind right now. And so when we give them a platform to be able to learn more about it, to launch their NFT or their art, or to introduce their art to the consumers that are interested in buying, or to introduce them to investors who are in the space that want to collaborate with them and potentially invest or create pieces of art or pieces of NFTs with them. So there's just so much that comes from this. And just from this show, the feedback we got has been outstanding. I think we hit our target. We were able to, all the exhibitors and the people that put on the activations and the companies that came and spoke, they really enjoyed it because they got to meet and network and meet a lot of people, not only consumers that they can work with, but they were able to meet with other people they can collaborate with and begin doing deals with. So it's kind of, a multifaceted approach. You've got the networking between the companies, but you get educating consumers and meeting new artists and meeting new creators that want to collaborate as well. So it's a great marketplace for that. And we're proud of it. And we're going to take this thing on the road for sure.
Great. How did you get to doing that? Like, what's your story, and how did it lead to producing this event?
So first of all, I've been in the event production business I'm going to date myself here, for about 35 years. I've always been an entrepreneur. I've always wanted to make money. I was 15 years old and I wanted to get a car. So I bought my own car. And the way I did that is I walked around in a big circumference of where I live and applied for jobs. And I got picked up by a catering company. They offered me a job to wash dishes. Within a week, somebody didn't show up on one of the event sites, and they said, you have to go on the event site. They put a tuxedo on me with a bow tie and a little tux. And I looked really young. When I was 15, I looked like I was like 4. Okay. So I really looked young. And so, but I was really helpful. I would bust the tables. I'd help them set up put all the food out. I would do whatever they wanted me to do, carry hors d'oeuvres, whatever they wanted to. And so they started booking me on the jobs all the way through the time I was 15. And by the time I was 16, I'd be like, I'll drive. And they had these big 24-foot catering trucks. I'll drive because the women didn't want to drive them. So I was driving 24-foot catering trucks at the age of 16 to the catering jobs and rolling all the tables out, setting it up. And by the time I was 18, I was a lead caterer, and I would, meet with the client and say, okay, you're going to put your table over here and we're going to start the hors d'oeuvres at this time and we're going to do this. And I noticed as the lead caterer that the hosts weren't having a real good time because they were really stressed because they had a caterer, they had a bartender, they had a valet parker, they had a florist. They had so many elements that they wanted to bring together, and they were running around trying to manage all that and not really enjoying their party. So I was a freshman in college, and I go, you know what? I made up a card, and I go, I'm Entertainment Connection. Just call me and I'll handle everything for you. So now I'm going to college. One of the guys that was moonlighting for the catering company, he was from one of the big hotels. And he said, hey, when I got my big customers in town, I'll flip them your card. And so he'd flip them my card, and I would do destination management services. I would do, buses to to Disneyland, or create a golf tournament, that they could do outside of their convention, or if they wanted a theme for one of the parties one night, I would literally bring in sand and put, little surfer outfits on my fraternity brothers, and put girls in bikinis and put the zinc on their thing, and I'd set up a beach scene, and that was a part of the whole thing. And so I was doing event planning all the way through college. And it's crazy because I went pre-med, but I had this flair for throwing the parties. And in college, I'd throw a party and 10,000 people would show up. I had these raging parties when I was in college. So I kind of decided that maybe I'm more suited for business and entrepreneurship and throwing parties. So by the time I was a senior, I started throwing the ski trip for the school, and 500 people would go. I'd throw a spring break to the houseboat trip, and I would sell 1,000 people on 50 houseboats. So I made a company doing spring breaks and ski tours while I was in college, right when I was just finishing up my senior year, and it grew. I had fraternity and sorority sales reps in 7-8 states in the Western United States, California, Utah, Arizona, all up and down the whole Western United States. And I had 10,000 people going on my spring break, 10,000 people going on my ski trip. I ended up getting acquired at the age of 23 by a travel conglomerate. So I was already, doing great. And so I had a 3-year tenure with them. We acquired a couple more companies. We became a $50 to $100 million travel company. After about 3 years, I got bored of working for somebody else. I liked being my own boss. So I went into corporate events. I went into hey, instead of taking the kids down to Cancun and having them run on the beach and do the crazy kamikaze races, I'll bring corporate down and for their business meeting, and they can do motivational beach Olympics.
Yeah.
So it was almost the same thing, just kind of a different flavor.
Different type of kids.
Yeah. And my company grew. I started doing sales and corporate events around the world, in Cancun, all throughout America, Hawaii, and abroad. And some of these companies came to me and they started saying, hey, I know you're doing the filming for the stage for the image magnification, so you could see the people, but can you record that and cut it up so we can use it as a sales video or training video? So I started making sales and training videos from the media, and pretty soon somebody said, hey, I want to do an infomercial. And so I was always the person as an entrepreneur. I can do it. I can do anything. Yep. Yes. Always saying yes. So I ended up, launching a commercial division and getting into direct sales and helping companies create short form and long form commercials, marketing their products, and the fundamentals. And that's direct marketing, scripting, call to actions, having overwhelming offers, being able to have good guarantees. I started really learning those aspects. And a lot of people on your call here, this is what they do every day.
Yeah.
It's the same thing now in digital marketing. It's direct marketing. It has all the same components. I was doing that, for 10 years, and really enjoyed it. Got involved in a few products, made a little money. And somebody comes to me and says, hey, there's this group starting, and they're doing a charity event at the Playboy Mansion. Will you sponsor it? We need a video team and a host. And ever since I was a little kid, I've always looked at the Playboy magazines and go, oh my gosh, I want to be there. And I saw Hef's parties on the inside of the magazine. I was like, I gotta go. So when I had this opportunity to sponsor a party at the Playboy Mansion, and all I had to do was give them a couple of video cameras and a host, I was in. I'm in, all in. So I gave them the cameras, the host, and I had these expectations that there was going to be, all these beautiful girls.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be just a raging party, and I get there, and it was elegant. It was nice. It was about 180 people. Of the 180, 170 were guys. And there was 10 girls. Ooh. And there was 2 playmates, right? And it was truly a charity event, right? And all these guys came thinking it was going to be something, and it was a little different. It was an elegant, nice party. And the 2 playmates, they had dresses all the way up to their neck, all the way down to their ankles. And they were bored, this is the world famous monkey cages. Here's the world famous grotto. Let me show you around, Okay. And so it wasn't what I thought it was going to be. So it's a little let down, but the guys that did the charity thing, they approached me and said, hey, will you help us rebrand our company and help make us grow? Because, we weren't very successful at this event. And I said, I can help you. And so I got in, and it was the guys that started Karma, and they called it Karma Foundation. And it was to do charity events at first. And so I took a little bit of equity, and I said, but you know what? We need to do another party. And they go, yeah, we want to do it at this other venue. And I go, oh, no, why don't we go back to the Playboy Mansion? And they're like, oh no, I don't know. We weren't very successful. No, come on, let's just go. Let's just go talk to the guys at Playboy. So I had this idea, and I said, I approached Playboy with them, like, we'd like to do another event there. And the guys at Playboy, the general manager and them, laughed at us. They go, well, you couldn't even get 200 people. How many people do you think you're going to get this time? I said 800 to 1,000. And they're like, they laughed at us. The Cormac still owes us money from the last one. And I said, well, tell you what, if I prepay for 800 people to go, will you let them off the hook? And they said, okay. So I pulled out my checkbook, wrote a check for 800 people, and it was expensive. They put on a nice little show.
Like a success guarantee.
Success guarantee. And so I went back to my boardroom and I said, what is Playboy? I took my direct marketing techniques. What did the consumers want? What did they expect? What did I expect going to Playboy?
Yeah.
Well, I expected tons of girls. It's the land with all the girls. Half is the land with all the beautiful playmates.
Yeah.
Playmates in little outfits. I've heard about this Midsummer Night's Dream party because they all come in theme. Let's come up with a theme and let's blur the lines. Let's make them think it's a Playboy, like a real Playboy party. We'll call it Candy because girls are candy and it's the land with it. We'll call it Candyland. And my guys were floored. And so I went out and I cast a whole bunch of little people and dressed them as Oompa Loompas. I put out casting out to girls. Girls apply to come to the Playboy Mansion party called Candyland. They had to send us a picture of themselves and tell us what kind of candy they were and why. I had 5,000 submissions.
Wow.
So we had casting directors. We picked all these beautiful girls. And you know what? Playboy was right. I didn't get 800 people.
You got probably 2,000.
I got 1,500. That was sellout. They wouldn't let me have any more people. So I sold it out. When you got to the party, you came in and there was little vignettes. I had big giant lollipops and I had giant candy pieces and I had the Oompa Loompas singing Oompa Loompa Doompity, and they're winding up this thing, and there's a painted girl who's painted like candy, not wearing any clothes, just paint. Swinging, and then you go around, there's another little scene, Oompa Loompa Doompity, and there's another little scene with the girl, and just all these different scenes that he brings you into the party, and it was just one amazing off the hook, and I had DJs spinning, and Playboy has never seen anything like it, but it was ultra successful. So then I went ahead and said, hey, can I do another party there? Can I do a masquerade? And so now I had Candyland, then Candy Masquerade, sold it out. It was and then as you came in, there was different cages and different cool different stuff going on, and people like Phantom of the Opera and just like really artistic looking vignettes as you come in, with painted girls in each one of them. So I would take these painted girls and make them into almost like scenes. And to modern, it would almost be like an NFT or something, but it was really cool scenes as you come in. So the party started growing, and then I did a Halloween party, and I brought in professional Hollywood set designers because I was an event planner. I really knew, and I like to converge everything from visual to sense of hearing and sense of smell, and bring it all together all in one thing. I brought in Hollywood set designers, and we went nuts on Halloween, and it was so awesome that Hef came out and said, my party's next week. Can you leave all of it up? And can you help me run my party? So I ended up producing ours and selling ours out, and then helping Hef his next week with his party. And it was an honor. This is Hugh Hefner. This guy is a legend. He's fought for our press and our rights, and he's known throughout the world to have the most exclusive party in the world. And I find myself now producing for the Playboy Mansion. And so that went on for about a year and a half, 2 years. And then the CEO sat me down and said, I've got good news and I got bad news. Because the good news is we did a statistical analysis, and we found out that you and your team with your candy party at the Playboy Mansion own every search term, everything that has to do with Playboy. And we're trying to turn Playboy around right now. So the bad news is you can never do another candy party at the Playboy Mansion. The good news is, congratulations, you're now the producer of Playboy. So for another 8 years, I became the producer of Playboy's Midsummer Night Dream, Playboy's Halloween, and Playboy's Masquerade parties, and then some of the other smaller parties as well. So I got to be the producer at the Playboy Mansion. I worked directly underneath Hef. He had a vision. My job was to deliver that vision for the Playboy Corporate and for Hugh Hefner. I got to do, and I had free run of the whole place.
That's amazing. So did you actually meet him? Do you know what he's like as a person?
He's a really gracious man. He was really, really nice. He used to come out. So I'd be setting up, and he'd come out, and we'd set up for 3 or 4 days. He'd come out in advance and kind of curiously see what we're doing. And, he'd play some compliments, and he would, and I got to talk to him a few times, and he would reminisce, I've been doing the parties since the 70s and 60s, and, just some of the cool things. And it was an honor, because if you really know about that man, he was the first person to ever put, people of color on television
Mhm.
with his Playboy After Dark. He'd invite Sammy Davis Jr. and some really talented music artists and have them come sing on his television show. He fought for our freedom of press. I mean, he fought for our rights to even do what we're doing right now. You know, in America, he fought for that. He fought for the freedom press. He fought for, women's rights. People didn't realize that he was really pro women's rights. From the whole course of the time that he began the magazine until he died, he was very a proponent for women rights. So it was a great working for him. It was a great time. I got to do these parties where I had royalty coming from around the world. I had every major celebrity trying to get in. It was just a wonderful time, and it really opened my eyes to being able, open my eyes to be able to create art and events and just how make them entertainment. And instead of the boring corporate events that I'd been doing, now I'm doing entertainment events. And here's kind of a funny story. It was really hard to get in. Tables were expensive. I would sell my tables for $20,000 a piece, and I'd have 40 of them, and they'd sell out. So somebody approached me in 2012 and said, "Hey, I will buy a table with Bitcoin." I said, "Bit what?" "Bitcoin. It's a digital coin." Well, I don't understand. I didn't understand. I didn't get it. I was that guy, that consumer that had no idea what Bitcoin was. Well, you get this wallet and it's going to trade, and pretty soon it's going to go up in value and all this stuff. And I just, at the time, 20,000 in cash dollars was more important to me than the Bitcoin. I did a little analysis before I came on the show. If I would have taken that offer, that table would be worth about I basically passed up $2.4 billion. Yeah, exactly what I said.
Almost billionaire.
But I think a lot of people today don't really understand the opportunity. People are understanding more and more. I mean, I started getting into crypto, really started catching on the wagon in 2017. And at the time I was buying Bitcoin at $3,000. Yeah.
That's awesome.
I passed up for it in 2012 at 30 cents, but I was willing to buy it at $3,000, $3,500. Ethereum at $250 in 2017. Remember, it was like $250, $300.
Yeah.
So I was started producing events in the crypto space and working with some really close friends that were doing some really cutting edge stuff in the crypto space. They're doing pitch events around, on tour in 20 different locations. And so I went around and with them and saw how they were doing it and was getting paid in cryptocurrency for some of my services. So I made a little bit of money and started watching it grow and really have been fascinated with the space. So how I got into Superverse is when I got the opportunity. A very talented lady by the name of Melanie Moore. She's actually the founder of Superverse. She hired me to come aboard.
She's the founder.
I
met her. She's a German one, just like
she's a German, and she's a talent. She speaks all over. She's got a protocol called WOM, which stands for word of mouth. And so she's got a token called WOM token, and she's building products for use cases with the token. One of it's called Yas. Yas is an NFT, an automated NFT platform. You could go on the platform, you can create an NFT and launch it through Yas. And so it runs on WOM. And so she's really, really cutting edge and very intelligent and very well connected in the space. So when I got the opportunity to produce for her, I produced about 3 events. I did one for her for Yas in Miami at a mansion, and she brought in hundreds of influencers and creators. I got to do it in Beverly Hills at a mansion there. She brought in hundreds more of creators and stuff. And she's, showing them how that influencers and creators can use her use cases and benefit and make money from it. And she's got people making money for these products. So when she said, "Hey, I'm going to launch this Superverse," because people still don't know. People just don't know, what is an NFT? What is the Metaverse? I'm still quite not there yet. People don't know yet.
And it's so hard to handle still. Like if you want to buy an NFT, you can't just buy it. It's like,
where do you go?
You have to get a wallet, and then you have to have a MetaMask, and you have to have a centralized exchange, and then you have to exchange money, and then have Ether, and then with some ETH you can wire it to your MetaMask, and then you can buy on OpenSea or something.
Yeah, it's crazy. And that's the whole premise under Superverse is how do we go out to the masses and give them an opportunity to learn what is the Metaverse? How do you make money in the metaverse? What are the products you can make money from in the metaverse?
Yeah.
Where's it going? People are going to be setting up storefronts. Right now, people are buying real estate in this digital world.
Yeah, I own 2 villas in the sandbox.
It's exactly it. And you're buying on the premise that where you buy is going to get lots of traffic. People are going to buy businesses based on where the traffic is going to be. Like kind of like if you look at Web, 1 and Web 2, that's, you advertise on websites because they have traffic, right? You want to put your brand on websites. You want to market your products where the traffic is. Well, Metaverse is going to be very much the same, but it's going to be more experiential. You'll be able to go inside of it. You'll be able to walk around. You'll be able to touch it, feel it. It's the next level. It's Web 3.0. And people are going to, just as people made a lot of money going into, e-commerce and going into the first initial web, people are going to make a lot of money. There's a lot of money. People are going to have, the experience is going to go as thousands and thousands of people, millions of people now converse and go into the metaverse, and they're going to set up real estate, and they're going to set up their virtual stores. They're going to set up their products. They're going to set up, entertainment, it'll be all kinds of things, sports, just everything that you see in the normal world will be replicated in the metaverse, and you'll get to experience it in ways that people can't even fathom at this time,
How much time do you think will the average person spend in the metaverse, let's say in 10 years, like just from your own rough opinion?
Oh, geez. I think some people may spend more time in the metaverse than they are out of the metaverse. And that's a scary thing to say. I'm very much into, human experience and being present, but, and if you've ever seen the movie Ready Player One, it's somebody, people that have recreated themselves in, virtual world, in the metaverse, and they have huge personas, and they're very successful in the metaverse. And then outside, they're just normal people. And sometimes people want to live more in the fantasy world than they want to be in the real world. Sometimes people can't deal with the real world. And that's what's scary, is because people are going to, because they're maybe have a hard time or not like who they are, and they're going to reinvent themselves in this new world.
That is partly already existent, like without these very elaborate virtual realities. I mean, if you, for example, look at social media and for example, Instagram and TikTok, then people have already created this image of themselves where they are a lot of times, a lot of them are much more beautiful and good looking and rich than in reality, from the image they're presenting. And I think we already kind of live in the metaverse. And a friend of mine, his name is Mike Haga, also a very big NFT guy. He's minted 10 Bored Apes when they came out. Can you imagine? He still got them. It's great. He told me this idea. So I asked him the same question in a phone call recently. And he said, he's assuming it will be the deciding factor about the metaverse and how much time people are going to spend there. From his perspective, is the porn industry, because porn has, let's face it, most of the content on the internet is porn. The DVDs, they became popular after the CDs because of porn.
Here's a statistic, because I was getting into direct sales and looking at who was making money on the internet. Do you know who the first industry to really make money was? Porn. Do you know who are the most sophisticated people on the internet selling products? Porn industry. They have some of the best.
So I mean it in a positive way, not in a negative way. So I'm not talking bad about them. I'm just just what you said kind of confirmed my opinion that probably if porn in the metaverse is going to be a big thing, then probably the metaverse will take over life.
I think I actually know the owner of Spearmint Rhino, which is a big franchise across the world. If you ever heard of Spearmint Rhino strip clubs, and he's actually, so I'm the CEO of Karma, which is I became the CEO of Karma right after I started doing the parties, and we started saying, how can we give back to the world? How can we create a networking group of entrepreneurs to help each other? It's like a business fraternity of men and women who are successful. And I've got all kinds. I've got real estate gurus. I've had several crypto millionaires that have come in, and I've got the owner of Spearmint Rhino. He's multimillionaire, very successful business. He has, I think, 70, 80 of the strip clubs, but it's a conglomerate, and people don't realize it. It's a conglomerate, and as they go into the metaverse, will be able to put your virtual glasses on and go down to like entertainment land, and there will be virtual strip clubs. You'll go in and you don't even have to leave your home. You'll get to go there. So yeah, I see it being big. I see that entertainment's going to be huge. All types of entertainment, and that'll be probably one of the leaders is these virtual strip clubs. And
interesting.
They're already working on it, so.
Yeah, let me know. That's very interesting. I think, because of that, because I want to be able to foresee a little bit better what happens regarding the metaverse. I actually put it on my list to go to adult industry expos just to see what they are doing with the metaverse, so I can get like an idea, because like I believe like the other industries will follow the porn industry. So
they've got money, they invest money, they're always looking to recreate themselves. It's just it's no matter what business you're in, you've got to recreate yourself. You've got to put money into R&D, and you've got to be ahead of yourself. A lot of, you'll see, going back to Playboy for a minute, Playboy had a really, almost went bankrupt a couple of times because they didn't transition to the digital world. They were a physical magazine, a lot of magazines. So yeah, I became the producer for Maxim, and Maxim, the same thing. It used to be such a huge magazine and so well distributed around the world. But it's just like Playboy, Maxim had the same problem. They didn't transition into the digital world, and fast enough. They weren't. They didn't stay ahead of it. So any business that doesn't transition to where everything's going fast enough can end up being left behind. And I saw those magazines being left behind and almost going out of business. Maxim's pretty much out of business right now. They're a skeletal company. The only thing that was big was the events that we were throwing for them, and that kind of keeping them alive. But back to Superverse, the opportunity for me to take all this experience, from direct marketing, from learning about cryptocurrency in 2017, 2018, and being able to come in and bring my entertainment background. And I've done events for some of the biggest celebrities. I've hired everybody from Post Malone to Cardi B to Daddy Yankee, Kygo. I mean, the list just goes on and on and on. Every major rap artist, I probably had them at one of my events at one time or another, and I've produced with them. And so now I see all of these major artists, and the buzz is NFTs. How can they make money off NFTs? How can they get involved? How can they monetize, with these new platforms with cryptocurrency? And they're just as curious about it as anyone else. So by creating Superverse and creating a high-tech event that's not only is it educational, but it's going to be huge entertainment. You're going to see your favorite artist perform. You're going to get to meet them. You're going to get to see them on stage. They're going to talk about how they're transitioning into the metaverse. You're going to hear their experience, because a lot of these consumers are on the same path of wanting to learn and wanting to learn how they too can can be a part of this opportunity, but they don't know where to start. And so Superverse will be that consumer show that gives the new people to be able to learn, but get to interact with people who've been around with it and be able to see it and touch it and feel it through interactive, activations, through great stage performances, and just, you enter the Superverse, and we're going to make it very high tech, just like we did with we call it entering the universe, the Superverse, entering the Superverse through the video tunnels created by avatars, and being able to see all this cool stuff. It gives us the opportunity to really entertain, and we enjoy it. It gives me the opportunity to take everything I like to do and put it all in one spot.
Yeah, that's great. Where's the next Superverse going to happen?
That's a really good question. We're looking into Mexico City, actually. We're looking into in Asia, stop in Asia somewhere, and also back in Dubai. And then eventually we'll be in the US as well. So we're probably going to have anywhere from 4 to 6 shows. We're looking possibly into South America, but taking where, crypto, we got to kind of go where cryptocurrency is becoming really popular, and where people, consumers are really wanting to know. As you know, El Salvador just became, officially a Bitcoin currency country, and that's huge. It's a huge step. Mexico is talking about allowing Bitcoin to be a currency, and so that's why we're interested in Mexico. We're going to be back in Dubai because Dubai is like the epicenter right now for cryptocurrency conferences. They're very friendly here. It's a great city. It's, the buildings and the architecture are so futuristic. Just there's a lot of resorts and a lot of great things for people to see when they come. And then there's great business convention centers and places to have these conferences. So we'll be here a lot too.
I know a lot of people who moved to Dubai actually from the States, from everywhere, especially from California. Have you ever considered moving here?
I wouldn't, I love California. I don't love the politics. I could see why people would want to move. I think moving to Dubai would be tough for me though, because I like California, I like the United States. I think I could be here a lot though. I'll probably be doing at least 5 or 6 shows a year. So that means I'll be here probably at least 3 or 4 months a year.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's nice. I mean, that's already enough to get a residency and stuff like that.
And stay away from the hot time. It gets pretty hot here.
But
if you're used to Las Vegas, I do a lot of shows and stuff in Las Vegas. It gets hot there too. Vegas gets really hot in the summertime.
Where do you see the best networking? Because network is also a very important part of business.
The networking is important for any business, no matter which type of business you're in. I think that's one of the things that's interesting about these cryptocurrency conferences, like Superverse or some of the other ones, is that there's a lot of businesses are trying to cross over. How are they going to get involved into not just e-commerce, but the metaverse? How are they, businesses take advantage of NFTs? A lot of the ticketing companies are looking to becoming NFT ticketing companies. A lot of music artists, like I said, are crossing over. So these conferences become great networking because you get to not only learn about the tech and the new products and things that surround the NFTs and Bitcoin and blockchain and the underlying technologies, but you get to meet people that are converging and into it and curious about it, and all these different business people and entrepreneurs. I think it's one of the most entrepreneurial thing that you can do right now is how do you stake your claim in blockchain and the new metaverse? How do you position yourself to take advantage of these opportunities?
Yeah, where's the best place in your opinion to be if you're if you want to be in the best community especially for these futuristic crypto NFT types of businesses? Is it Dubai? Is it Asia? Is it LA?
Oh my gosh! I think right now Dubai is actually one of the better. I mean, there's so many conferences here that just on these subject matter, and there's so many people here. But then again, you see like countries like Puerto Rico is becoming a mecca. Everyone's moving down to Puerto Rico because of the tax favorability. It's becoming, a crypto island. You've got places they're calling, you had Silicon Valley, the term Silicon Valley. Now you have Crypto Valley or Crypto Island.
That's in Switzerland, actually. Crypto Valley.
Crypto Valley is in Switzerland.
Yeah.
You got Crypto Island is Puerto Rico. And what do you call? I guess Dubai is just the crypto desert.
Crypto city.
Yeah, crypto city. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, what I like about Dubai is I feel like the ruler of Dubai, because it has a ruler and not just interest groups opposing each other, they can do a certain policy and they can just do their thing. And the ruler of Dubai clearly wants the city to be the best city, and he wants to make a lot of money. He wants to make it really big and glamorous, and he wants to make it the most livable city by within 5 years or something. And I can really see the vision behind it, and a lot of measures, even in terms of COVID, made a lot of sense to me. I mean, they just would not compete putting the hardest measures on people.
Dubai, that's one of the reasons we brought Superverse here first. Not only was it a crypto friendly city and country, they were still allowing conferences. Their social distancing policies were not as stringent, and people can get here easy, and then if you know what Dubai is doing to grow itself and brand itself throughout the world, it's got Expo. And Expo is phenomenal. It's a phenomenal experience. And it's attracting people from all over the world to see, what future technology, future art, future everything. That's what Expo is all about. And candidly, it's inspiring, So yeah, they are invested, billions into that, just to show that Expo and to show what's possible. And then you see all the, how they're reinvesting into Dubai. I mean, the buildings, I've never been to a city where the skyscrapers are all works of art. They're the latest and greatest in architecture, and they're beautiful. A lot of art in the city. So they're building a culture. It's new,
Yeah.
but they're building it. And you can feel it.
It's kind of like a modern futuristic Las Vegas.
Yeah,
Like something out of the desert, and then
without all the gambling or all the
Yeah.
ugliness. Yeah,
yeah, without the gambling, without the toys, it's
without the crime. This is one of the safest cities, actually.
Yeah.
Too. Do you know that there's cameras everywhere? You're always on camera. They see
Yeah.
you. They're always watching. But you can leave your laptop outside on the curb. No one's going to take your laptop.
Yeah. I mean, I got a lot of friends here who moved here, and they would just leave their car open, even if it's a Rolls Royce. They just leave it open. They don't, like, if it's a convertible, they just leave the top away. And they just leave it open. They actually have it running. They keep it running because the air condition should continue to run, which is kind of crazy. But I can understand that if it's really hard, then it makes sense, because I also heard a friend told me that things would explode in some cases, like a lighter or something, if you don't, they leave the air conditioner on. So, and it's so safe. You can, if you leave like your wallet and with a few $10,000 or something, you will get everything back. This is really amazing. Like,
you don't find that too many places in the world. Hey, I was really, you're out here for affiliate world. What do you see? So this is what I'm curious. Are affiliate marketers going to be marketing NFTs? Like, where do you see these digital products, and how will direct marketing, which is in essence is old school. It's old school e-commerce. It's straight. It's
Web 2
marketing. It's Web 2. How will you see the marketers? What will they be marketing to make money, and where do you see it going?
In relation to NFTs and crypto, you mean specifically, right?
Yeah.
So, okay, a lot of them already, because they are kind of avant-gardistic, a lot of them already have been for a long time in the crypto space, at least as investors, at least as also creating courses and selling them, where they teach their knowledge about crypto. NFTs is kind of like a new thing, and it's also, for me, representing Digistore24, the company that I founded 10 years ago. It's very I try to figure out which role NFTs are going to play in this direct marketing space and affiliate marketing space, because right now we're in this initial stage where it's just very, very cool, and where there's this hype. My friend that I mentioned, Mike Hager, who minted these 10 Bored Apes, he sells his products on Digistore24, and he thinks that everyone will at least try selling NFTs at some point. Like every product creator, like, for example, typically the products that are being sold on our platform are courses, memberships, ebooks, video courses, event tickets, seminars, webinars, supplements, etc. And so what you could do is, being a product creator, we call them vendor, you could, instead of just selling tickets, you could sell NFTs. This is something. And if you have like a community, if you're like also an influencer with an active community, you could look really cool, bringing NFTs to the market and having them be valuable because they're being traded among your community, which Gary Vee, for example, does. Gary Vee, I also think he's an internet marketer, like the most famous one, and he released his V Friends, made within 7 days made 91 million, and then from trading he makes, like, because it's traded among his followers, he makes 200K per day or something like that, just from the trading, because in the smart contract he has that attributed to him, which is pretty cool. So I think a lot of people will, because it's cool, will release NFTs. But then I think just a few will make it, because I think it's really hard to maintain the value. Because if you really think about it, what is required for someone to release a valuable NFT? Either you're super famous, and not even famous people can maintain values of their released NFTs, because they tend to sell it a little bit higher and then they drop in value, and then it just looks like a scam because they pocketed all that money initially. So let's say the more honest NFTs are cheap initially and go up in value later. And so I think there will be a group of entrepreneurs who will become very good at releasing NFTs, interacting with the community, just like on social media or something. The channel for that is usually Discord, and be able to look cool because they released NFTs that grow in value. This will be some part of them, but I still have a hard time believing that like every digital marketer will just release NFTs and it'll all go well. I think it's hard to do that because these things are then traded on a secondary market, and they then kind of have to keep their value. And a lot of NFTs that don't have strong communities behind them, even if they have great artwork, they drop in value and it's hard to get them up. So yeah, so I think there will be like, and I call it elite. There will be the Pareto 10-20% who will make it and who will have digital products, and one product type will be NFTs. But I don't think that the majority will make it, but they will all try. So there will be like an initial, everyone tries. And then after some point, I think there will be kind of a saturation because people think, because for me, for example, I also thought about bringing out NFTs, releasing NFTs, minting them. But I thought, okay, the utility could be access to myself in some way, shape, or form, or we could do an event series. That's what Gary Vee does, for example. If you own an NFT friend, VFriend, that's the name of his NFT collection, then you can go to his VCon, his conference. And he, just like yours, he also invites like speakers that know a lot and stuff and networking opportunities. But in order to get in, you have to own a VFriend, and a VFriend is about, I don't know, 20K or so ish, like the floor price. So that's quite expensive, right? But this is how he does it. So I think there will be a group of entrepreneurs doing that successfully, but also another group not doing that because it takes a lot, at least as of today, to do that successfully. It's just like growing an Instagram account. Yeah, there is people who can do that, and it was easier back then when it was like starting. But nowadays, growing an Instagram account is kind of hard because you got to do all this community work and you got to feed the algorithms, etc., etc. So it's quite hard, even though everyone tries. So it will be always a very popular thing. But then we will also move into the era of more, let's say, utility-based NFTs. So I think there will be all kinds of NFTs that will just be access cards to this and that.
Event tickets, yeah. It's already currently. So the technology we use to sell Superverse, we actually can sell tickets, and we accept cryptocurrency. So we created the ability to put on your credit card, accept cryptocurrencies. Not a lot of events are doing that right now. We want to make that, because we want that community to embrace our events and be able to buy with cryptocurrencies. You can buy with, Bitcoin and Ethereum, and we also, when you buy a ticket, you get a NFT, so a founder's NFT basically, so people can get involved in it, because eventually, we're actually going to make a DAO. We wanted to have people help make a community around Superverse that, can help with the governance, the consensus, and what they want to see, what they want to do, but also be able to, we think it's going to grow in great value.
For the viewers, can you please explain briefly what a DAO is?
What a DAO is, it's a decentralized autonomous organization. It's where you put out a token that has rules set to it. It's almost like a government rules, how you want to govern this community. And then the tokens are distributed between everybody that buys them, becomes the members of the community. No one really, the community owns the organization, and that organization is operated and governed by the people who bought the tokens, the DAO. So they vote, they make decisions, they do things, and everybody has the opportunity to have their voice heard, in proportion to how much of the DAO that they own. Okay,
so if I buy, for example, 15% of all the coins, or the tokens.
Mm-hmm.
Can I influence what happens on the event, and can I decide like what?
Well, that's only 15%. There's 80. There's another 85% of voting out there. But, everybody's going to have it's. You get it. It's very democratic. It's very consensus.
Yeah, I mean, in a democratic way.
Yeah, it is. But most of the decisions on where we go, what cities are going to be more popular, what kind of topics need to be covered. This is a really good way to get feedback from people who care. By them making that commitment to purchase and become part of the DAO, that they really care about the organization and that their decisions are for the good. I think there's a lot of favorable in it, and I'm learning more and more about it all the time, and we're excited. This was Melanie's idea to do this. I became a partner through this. This first show was, we wanted to take it to the next level, but it's a first show. We did this in 8 weeks. You don't do shows of this size in 8 weeks. And we pulled it off, and it was flawless, but we put a lot of money into it, and I helped do that. So that way we could have a really strong product that we could take on tour. And that's where we are now. Now we're deciding which cities to go to. We're looking into how we could make it more consumer friendly, more entertaining, getting bigger performers and bigger stars, getting great art and great interactivity there, and make it truly one of the most mind-blowing consumer shows, but educational and fun at the same time.
Yeah, that's amazing. So this is like your vision. When are you going to start the DAO thing? When can people buy tokens?
We're bringing in. So I like being an event producer. Like what you're good at. I'm really good at putting on events because I'm not the best lighting guy in the world. Guess what? I got the best lighting guy. I'm not the best audio guy, but I got a really good audio guy. I'm not the best video guy. So it's assembling a team of experts to bring together. And that's what I do. Like I'm a conductor, or a contractor. So with the DAO, Melanie's really connected in the industry. We've got some great people that have done this before. They're helping us with the tokenomics. They're helping us with the governance because we want it to be respected. It's not a money grab. Okay.
Yeah.
It's truly to create something special and create a consumer show that's owned by the community, for the community, by the community. So we can go out and market this and take it to everybody and really grow something huge. And it will. It's going to go from 3 shows to 5 shows to, a show every month somewhere in the world. And they're all going to be sold out. And this community is going to, help make the decisions and benefiting from it. And we're going to educate more consumers on what Metaverse is. We're going to educate more consumers on what NFTs are, what the blockchain is, what cryptocurrencies, what the use cases are, how artists can get involved, how creators can get involved, how to become a creator and create your own art and make money doing it. How do you make money in the metaverse? Everyone's this buzzword, how do I make money? Well, you're going to learn this from Superverse. You're going to be able to collaborate with people. You're going to create partnerships. This is where it's going to be done. This will become that marketplace. And you get educated, you meet people, and you can enter and become an entryway or a portal into the metaverse through Superverse. It's the point.
Awesome. Yeah, I want to support you. So let me know whatever I can do.
Great. Right when we open the DAO, you'll be one of my first calls. Maybe we can put it out to the Digi Store community.
Yeah.
We're really interested in the Digi Store. I'm really interested in what you do because where our events need people that are on this call. We need people that want to share our events, and everyone gets to benefit from that. And that's the whole idea. I love your Digi Store concept because everybody wins. Everybody wins. And without marketing and distribution and sales, there's nothing. If our events don't get attended, then they're nothing. It takes strong attendance, and that's going to come through strong marketing. And I'm excited to be here at Digistore, and I hope that people embrace and want to get involved in our DAO and want to get involved in marketing us, and everybody will benefit.
Thank you. Yeah, I feel really honored, and I didn't even plan it consciously to be there. It was my business partner Francis telling me, "Hey, you should come here," and I was like, "Hey, my schedule is full, but I just want to make it happen," and I ended up there, and I loved it, and I made 1,000 posts on Instagram and social media about it.
Thank you. And that means a huge compliment. You have no idea what a big compliment that is. People are fighting to get your time, and I got a whole day of your time. So just by default, we wanted to entertain. You said you were entertained. We brought in some of the top fashion designers. We had Jack Irving. Jack Irving is the fashion designer from just recently the Fashion Week in Italy. He came out with those huge works of art. They look like giant, amoebas and sea urchins. It looks like the ocean. It's crazy. But he was the fashion designer behind some of Lady Gaga's outfits,
Mm.
and you know how popular that is.
Yeah.
You know, he's got major Paris Hilton. He's done stuff with a lot of celebrities. He's really well known, and we attracted him. So we're attracting great people to this. Bia is an up and coming music artist. She wanted to be involved in this. You know, we were actually turning away people wanting to speak, turning away people who wanted to perform, because we only had so much time. So we're going to have to change. If we're going to go to a 2-day format, so we can allow for more education and allow for more entertainment. People want the entertainment, and, you know, and you're going to see some really big name artists performing at these, and probably try to tie in some NFT drops. And that's one of the things we're learning. How can we create this entertainment and do something special where all the consumers of the show can be involved in an NFT drop, and do it in a legal way? Because, you know, it's got to be done legally, and there's still a lot of controversy around the legality of how to do a drop and not make it a security. You know, and this is things that we want to educate on too. And we're learning as we go too. We're still learning all these things.
You're making my brain really work, because I also am the co-owner of I'm doing a music festival in Germany and Austria. And so it's an electronic music festival, you know, we pretty much had everyone play except for Martin Garrix yet. But all the other guys, you know, we even had Avicii back then. Yeah, it's
I've had Avicii on 3 of my shows. I became really good. Tim Berg. Yeah. Tim Berg was a really, really good friend of mine, actually. Him and Ash, his manager Ash, and he's a very talented young man. Sorry to see him go.
Yeah,
but, I'm into electronic. I love electronic music. I've been around it. I produce it. Some of my actual.
Oh, you produce it?
Yeah. Some of my guys that were produce shows, electronic shows.
Oh, shows. Yeah.
So the opening actually was a young electronic producer by the name of Highland, who produced that electronic track. And then I got my visual artist to put Metaverse, you know, take you into the Metaverse with that music. And
I'm exactly thinking like that. So I would like to introduce the Metaverse to the music festival, Beat Patrol.
Well, my technical director does Electric Daisy Carnival, does stages at Electric Daisy Carnival, Vegas, which is one of the largest electronic shows in the world. You know, compares to Ultra and compares to Tomorrowland in Belgium, which is huge.
Yeah.
You know, so, you know, we've got great people that produce, you know, the visuals and produce the, you know, stage designs and all those kind of things. So we're going to you'll see a lot of that in the Metaverse. I think it's very futuristic. It's very electronic. And, you know, we're inspired by that. We're going to bring this kind of artist. You know, we had DJ Plastic Funk, and he's like number 80 in the top 100 DJs in the world. And we were excited to have him perform. And he's got an NFT coming out. And so we're going to be supporting him and marketing it and helping with him. So we want to drop NFTs, and we want to figure out how to do that in these entertainment environments and do it legally without breaking any, you know, securities laws. You know, that's one thing.
The challenge about the NFT, about selling stuff and with cryptocurrencies is that usually in the crypto community, people buy things with just their wallet without giving their name and address and everything. But if you want to do it legally, then you have to have the name and the location, etc., so that you can calculate the correct VAT. So, and that's like a thing that I'm working on solving. So yeah, the future is going to be exciting. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed it. As a last question, if someone wants to start a business with all your experience, what would you advise them how to start and in what field?
Start in what field? From my experience, service businesses are the hardest ones to scale, and the hardest ones to make money at. I watch people come into anything digital. Right? See, you know, to make a lot of money, you've got to get distribution. What is one of the easiest things to distribute? Digital content, right? Yeah. Because everybody's got these phones in their hand. Yeah. And if you can do it, you know, and everybody puts apps on the phone. How many billion people have a phone now? So if you can get a product or a thing, if you can go anything into the digital world and have a product that's an app or something that's useful, you know, it catches on through, you know, viral marketing and stuff like that, you can make a lot of money. And I've watched people overnight become billionaires. So one of my best friends from college started a business. He started an energy drink. And it took 20 years. It was really grueling work, but that energy drink was Rockstar energy drink. And I watched him go from having 2 nickels to rub together to, you know, being a multi-billionaire and selling it to Pepsi for billions of dollars. You know, what was this theme behind it? It was a product that people wanted to use, and they got distribution. You know, it's with any product, you have to get distribution. And one of the easiest products to get distribution is anything digital, anything technology, because everybody has a phone, everybody has a laptop or a computer, so that's my advice.
Great. Thank you so much, Dylan. I really enjoyed our conversation. I'm already looking forward to the next one and to the next Superverse.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's so great to be here. Thank you very much.
If you enjoyed this episode, hit the subscribe button and never miss an episode of Svencast again.